Welcome to Coach on the Couch. I'm your host, Jason Zaleski, joined today by Stratford boys basketball coach Curt Schmidt. Coach, thanks for joining us. Remind the audience how many years you've been coaching and what in the world keeps coming back every year.
Well, I started when I was 19. So that's a long time ago. So that would be about 28. I coached a lot of summer baseball when I was in college, Little League, Pony League, and middle school, little T-ball, all that stuff. And then I coached at Blair Taylor for a few years, JV baseball. And then I was JV baseball coach at Electric Trempealeau, became head baseball coach there right before I started teaching at Stratford, kind of during my student teaching time. And then at Stratford, I was JV boys coach my first year, and then head girls basketball varsity for about 4. And this one here, I'm thinking I'm in the 16 to 17 for boys, head boys. Enjoying it, love it, miss it. Just kids are great. This is like Christmas for me right now.
And a lot of us around the country, and especially here in central Wisconsin, we've always enjoyed talking to you, watching your teams play. To put a little bit of a wrap up on last year's team, conference-wise, you finished near the bottom of the conference. The end of the year, though, I thought your team got better as the season went on. You went on a 5-game winning streak before falling in a regional final over in Neillsville, in a game that you had the ball at the end, maybe a chance to do something else. So I think your team got better as the year went on. How would you grade last year's version of the Stratford Tigers boys basketball team?
You know, it's funny because the way we started, the day of our first game of the season, we got a report that we had to sit out. We got exposed by a potential positive case. So we had to sit in quarantine as a team for 2 weeks. And that set us back. And I'll tell you what, my kids were great. It was hard for them. But we had 5 weeks where we had 3 games in a week. We couldn't practice like normal. And there was just a lot of hard things we had to go through. But I'll tell you what, you hit it right on the head, Jason. By the last, I would say 3rd, if not 4th of the season, I thought we could beat anybody. I mean, we went right down to the wire with everybody. That it was the top of our conference. I thought we were clicking like we were an orchestra symphony at the end of the year. And that's not exaggerating. And then we went to Neillsville and we just couldn't hit anything. And it's just kind of one of those deals in basketball where they had definitely some nice length inside. So you couldn't get a lot of easy baskets. And we were forced to live a little bit more on the outside. They took the air out of the ball too, because it was a very, very, very low scoring game. They got a lead early, and then so we had to kind of, it seemed kind of shoot outside shots the majority of the time. And we didn't shoot very well. I think we shot 27 threes, and obviously we didn't come out very well there. But we had a chance at the end. I mean, we were up by 1, I think, with a minute to go. And things just didn't kind of go our way there. But, I was really proud of that group. That was a great group. They battled hard all year. They loved to play. That was a fun group to finish that season off. It was hard on me to end it that way because they were just so much fun. But like you said, the growth that's like, wow, that's your reward as a coach when you can go through the adversity we did and compete every night. That's all you ask for, is to compete.
38-36, my sources tell me that final score, which for a lot of your teams over the years have been halftime scores. So you were right, low scoring game. Seniors from last year's team, I'm just reading off my list here: Riley Bauman, Cody Miller, Cale Weisenberger, Max Vanderhoof, Jake Scraw, and Keegan Weiler. Pretty good group there. What are some of the memories those guys, and maybe some of the impact that group will have in seasons to come?
Well, the thing that stands out to me, they're just a fun group. There wasn't any drama with them. And you don't get a lot of that, obviously, and we seldom get that, but they came every day wanting to get better and to learn. Like, they couldn't wait to come to practice. They couldn't wait to get better. It was just, they all worked hard. They all gave it all they had. I never had any effort issues out of any of them. And, they're, even to this day, when I see, they're just pleasant. They're just pleasant kids. They come from really nice families. It's a real good group. And that's what made it hard to lose that game against Neilsville. I couldn't continue with them.
Yeah, well, we get to continue with them in spirit and memory, and those are always what a coach has. And even on this side, we always get to remember all those fun moments during the season. We turn now to the 2021-22 season, coming back from last year, one of your top scorers, Cam Dahl. What I want you to do is fill in the blanks here. Tell us about some of those other names, some of the other kids that we're going to become familiar with during this season of Tigers basketball.
Well, it's hard to mention, a few. When I look at the whole team, I really like the team. I really like the kids. I could name them all, and obviously you're looking for probably some that maybe saw maybe a bigger jump from last year initially. But Caden Bruzewitz is a real nice point guard. We have high expectations for him. He had a really nice, when we came back, he really started to come on midway through the year. Caden Griesmer is just a real nice kid who works hard, battles hard, just gives it everything he got. Devin Ulrich, works really hard, really good athlete on the basketball floor. Zach Seitz, real good rebounder, good sense of humor, works hard. Noah Barrett will be back. He'll be a senior that'll give us, a lot of good rebounding and good defensive effort, I believe. Cameron Moots, he'll give us some height, real nice kid, wants to learn. And let's see here. I don't think I'm leaving out any seniors, but I don't have my sheet of paper in front of me. But I think I've got Cam, Caden, Griesmer, Ulrich, Seitz, and Noah. Oh yeah, Brett is also another great kid coming back. Just one of those kids, nice to everybody, great to underclassmen, great attitude, but a real nice athlete. I think he'll help us tremendously defensively. And then juniors, I really got high hopes for, these guys like a Braden Schuler, who's a really good athlete. He's a nice and strong, thick kid. I'm hoping for some good post play out of him, but also the ability to shoot the basketball. And then Ashton Wrench has improved tremendously since last year. Real nice shooter, good ball handler. And then Johnny Seitz, real good defender, has really improved his game offensively. You talk about a guy with a motor. That guy has a motor. I don't think I've ever seen him tired. And then we have Isaiah Hadlock, who's going to be a contributor too. Real nice shooter, good kid. Evan Danielson, real nice, big, athletic kid. We hope he helps us in the post. And then Ben Zilke help us out with his big, huge frame. And then Brady Schmidt, we're hoping gives us a boost when we need him to be a zone buster. He's a real good shooter. So that's all my 15.
Perfect. I'm glad you were able to get through them all, because I tell people all the time, once I start naming names, you leave somebody out, you'll never hear the end of it. And it's never on purpose. It's just a lot to know all of a sudden. So we appreciate you going on the ledge, on the limb there for us, Coach. That will. I did
hear you snoring a little bit. So
possibly it's been some early mornings with deer hunting season around here, so that's always possible, no matter what the topic is. In the regular season, you compete in the Merriwood South. We take a look at that conference. A lot of noise over in Newman right now with their boys team. At Auburndale, Coach Weinferter always puts a good team on the floor. You got a new coach down at Assumption. You got a lot of things going on in conference. The goal is always to win conference. Where do you think, coming in, where do you think your place is in the Merriwood South?
Well, I personally think we can compete for a top spot. I've had many teams, we've finished top, but we've had many teams that just second place, just can't, quite get there. Last few years, obviously we've won conference after or right before last year, but I think we can compete with the best. I really do. I think yearbook has us fourth. Last year was was different because we finished fifth, beat Newman twice, and we were just, we're right there. So this year, I think there's a logjam. I think, there's clearly there's some that are considered favorites, but I'm looking forward to competing, and we're we got to prove them otherwise.
You mentioned your book. I'll see Mark Miller here in a few weeks. I'll make sure to rough him up on your account on that. Edgar, by the way, went to state last year too out of conference, so you got a lot going on there. All right, we'll kind of take another maybe a look at something a little bit outside of your team, and as we preview this team, but something that has changed this year is the postseason seeding process. You'll no longer gather in a room full of other coaches. You're going to have a computer tell you what your seed is. Just kind of give us your thoughts on that and this change, and what that's going to mean to you.
Well, I remember the good old days where it was just a random thing before your season started. That was the worst way to do it. I think the WI tried to get it right with coaches, but you also are dealing with human bias. That's easy. And the computer, is not going to get it exactly right either, but neither did coaches sitting in a meeting always get it right. The hard part's going to be when you have the undefeated team or the one with a really great record who didn't play a lot of great teams. And then you had the program that played 6 teams that are unbelievable or divisions above them. And I know the computer is supposed to take that into consideration, but it's still a computer, I think that's where you're going to have the issues here is do coaches try to schedule easier non-conference games to get the best seed, or are they looking at it as, well, scheduling good non-conference helps us get better always. So if we are 2 or 3 seed, is that going to really matter? Obviously it does when you play home or you don't play home. It does matter a little bit. Everybody knows that. So I don't mind it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't really have a true opinion on it. I guess it's a wait and see type thing because it's new. I've seen it where coaches don't even show up to seeding meetings, and then that affects outcomes because they're not there to vote. So now you're going by coin flips and whatever things. So we'll see. I don't get too worried about it because there's always factors you can't control anyway, even no matter what system you run.
Yeah, one of the things you brought up that the football coaches found out is that a win is a win. It doesn't matter what division the opponent was in, home or away. A win is a win. They're all equally weighted in that way. So it'll be interesting to see, and we look forward to that point. But we got a whole season to go to get there first. One of the things new in this season is attendance. There is no attendance cap. So come one, come all, fill up the gym. That's always the goal. We tell people this all the time. Get down to the gym, cheer whatever it is that you're watching on. What kind of difference, now that you had that experience last year, what kind of difference maker is that having a gym full of people?
No, it's huge. It can't explain it. It's huge. I remember when I coached girls basketball way back in 2000, 2001, I think it was. And I remember, they struggled to win for, I guess compete for a conference championship for a very long time. We ended up winning, I think, first time in school history that first year. And I remember the kids coming we had a big game against Spencer, and they had 1 loss. We were undefeated. I think we're 15-0, something like that. And I remember the girls walking out of the locker room, and they were in amazement at how packed both sides of our gym was. Like it was packed both sides. They've never seen that before. So I share that story because it matters to kids. It matters. Boys, the same thing. It matters when the gym is packed. It means a lot to them. And I remember the guys I had, the season got cut. One of the hardest things they talked about besides the season getting cut was playing in that Wausau West gym with hardly any fans. They just said it was eerie. Believe it or not, athletes, they feed off of fans. So
yeah, you're exactly right. So do we on the broadcast end. It was weird for us. It was no better time last year in the playoffs where they lifted some of those attendance caps and let everybody in. So with that being said, a number of your games that we will have live. The goal still is to get down to the gym, use us as a backup when at all possible. Matt Dickinson will be on the call for most of the games. You might find me in the gym every now and then, Coach. We're really looking forward to you getting on the floor, and best of luck coming up here in the year.
Thanks a lot for all you do, Jason. We appreciate it as coaches and schools, and we appreciate you being a frontier man around here, what you're doing.
Stratford boys basketball coach Curt Schmidt.